Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Walking and Talking episode 50. This is a landmark episode because we're halfway to 100. I didn't think I was gonna make 50 of these, to be honest, but we're here now. And since it's kind of a landmark milestone type episode, I figure now is a perfect time to make a bunch of random predictions and see what happens. Basically, I want to treat this kind of like a time capsule. So I want to make a couple of predictions about things I think that are going to happen, might happen, may happen, or want to happen. And see in like a year, 2 years, or whenever these things are going to happen, if they happen. I'm just curious how good my, I don't know what you want to call analysis skills are. So let's kick it off with number one, Facebook. I think in 5 years, Facebook, the website itself, is going to be in rapid decline, specifically losing users here in the United States. I think it's part of a growing social media trend that I'll talk about in 1 second, but I don't think the company's going anywhere because they own Instagram, they own WhatsApp, they own Oculus. They've got a lot of tech and other companies that can pick up the slack of that main core Facebook product. I just don't think people want a Facebook anymore, especially younger kids. They don't want to be on it. Their parents are on it, so it's kind of uncool. But also there's nothing that they want that's only on Facebook. For that connection and that messaging, they have other options. For picture sharing, they have other options. And for networking with their friends and even family, they have other options. So I feel like Facebook is kind of the odd man out. And I think in 5 years, Facebook, the website, will be in steep decline. And I don't know that something is necessarily going to take it over. The reason I think nothing is necessarily going to take it over is because number two on my predictions is the shrinking of social networks. I think right now a lot of the younger kids are kind of leading this charge, but people in the millennial generation, which is me, are kind of also involved in this. There's a real kind of trend of pulling connections and interactions to a more personal level. So instead of posting something on Facebook or making a Facebook group, people are creating text messaging threads. Sorry about that quick interruption. A bald eagle just flew by, had to film it. It was in the intro, go back, check it out. Super cool. So back to the originally scheduled program now. Younger kids are basically not using social media like the way Facebook kind of intended to be used, where you basically grow a social network and you find new friends and you build a bigger network. A lot of people are starting to contract that network back down and really kind of connecting more deeply with specific individuals. These individuals they may be finding on online gaming networks like Discord or Twitch or YouTube or PlayStation Network / Xbox Live, and then bringing them into their more core network, which is primarily done through text messaging, WhatsApp, and apps like that. I just see this trend continuing. I don't see kids kind of giving up this shrinking trend. It really is, I think, the way we're going to go in the future. So yeah, that's number two. Social networks are shrinking. And that's why I think Facebook in 5 years is really going to be on the steep decline as far as user base goes. Moving to a different industry, this time video games. Next one, I'm going to say that in 6 years, you will no longer be buying physical games. I think in 6 years, we will have worked out the internet issues, like bandwidth caps, data speed, the rest of that. And everything will basically be purchased digitally, played digitally. I don't think we're quite going to get to that place where everything's streamed like Google's trying to do with Strava or Stravia, whatever it's called. But I do think most of the consoles, if there are consoles, are going to be diskless. Everything's just going to go digital because that's just kind of the way it's already going. So it's not really a big prediction that in 6 years we'll be all digital and there'll be no more physical games. Next, let's talk about, actually, on that same prediction, I think in 4 years, E3 will be gone. That's kind of a more extreme prediction, but we'll see. Next, autonomous vehicles. And I want to first clarify, after listening to a podcast with a very prominent member of the automated driving industry, that it really should be called automated driving, not autonomous. Autonomous or autonomy means something's able to function completely without outside assistance. So unless every single step of the process is completely within the control of a car, this also means the car can say no. This means you could be at work, you call your own car, and your car says, nah, I'm good, and doesn't come. That would mean the car is fully autonomous. Really what we're talking about is automated. And while a lot of big industry companies are predicting we will get automated vehicles within the next 10, 15 years, I think we're closer to 30. I think in 15 years you'll have automated systems good enough to physically move the vehicle from A to B, but they won't be good enough where you can have it go on its own without a driver wherever you need, where you just punch in a destination, it goes, and you get out where you're supposed to be. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one yet, but I do think it'll be 30 years before we get that. But in 15 years, we will have automated driving where you can get in a car and it will do 99% of the driving for you. What the heck is this duck doing? Hey duck, quack. You okay? Yeah, I have no idea what's up. Also, that eagle is now flying over there. Next, let's talk about electric vehicles. Because electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles usually go hand in hand. I don't really think they should be considered in a hand-in-hand type thing. I think electric vehicles are coming in fast, and it's only a matter of time now. I think within 6 years, you'll see sales of electric vehicles at least quadrupling what they are now. I don't think they'll quite eclipse gas vehicles, but I do think most new car sales will be electric vehicles. The charging networks are all getting there. Most people now do live in more urban environments, which means people who are buying cars, there's gonna be more of them buying it to commute inside a city. And with congestion pricing, with parking, with all of those different elements having advantages for electric vehicles, I just don't think the math works for gas cars anymore in the city, which is a great thing. Just talking to people who have lived in New York City for years, the smog from all the buses is so much less now that all of them are now using clean electric hybrid systems that pollute way less than they used to. So just the air in New York City proper, Manhattan, is better. And I think people are very willing to make sacrifices, drive more efficient cars, if they're gonna see benefits like cleaner air and a nicer environment. Because whether you like the environment or not, you live in it, you breathe it, and I think everybody wants to breathe nicer air. I don't know whether that's the osprey or the eagle. Last and final prediction for today, it's gonna be around food and beverages. There's gonna be kind of a couple rolled into one, but I feel that the millennial generation is basically gonna cause a massive change, and they already have started to cause a massive change in the food, beverage, and restaurant industries. Long gone are the days where McDonald's was thriving to no end. We're past that now. I'm not saying fast food's gonna die. I'm not going to say liquor is gonna die. I'm not going to say prepackaged food is gonna die, because all of those things do have a place. A lot of people love that kind of food. It's gonna stick around probably indefinitely, but I think all of those markets are gonna contract. This is incredibly interesting because now that I'm extremely interested in whiskey, I think that entire market, along with vodka, gin, beer, they have grown exponentially as millennials have become engaged with those products, have become interested in those products, and have really cared about those products. Because one thing millennials are is a generation that will spend for quality and purity. By purity, I mean they want better ingredients, they want more organics, they want sustainability, they want their products to leave as little impact on this earth as possible, and also to be of the highest quality possible. And they're willing to take less and pay more if the products and the foods they consume adhere to their standards. You can see this with Shake Shack, Chipotle, all of the salad places that are in every major city. They're using the highest quality ingredients, they're charging accordingly, they're adhering to their own standards and values, and millennials love it. And I think this is true with every single other industry. Look at the craft beer industry. Look at major brands. They're all chasing after that millennial market because it is the biggest purchasing group now, because the older generations are either aged out or are no longer with us, and the younger generation has yet to really become the next big buying group. No doubt it will. Gen Z, I think, which is the younger generation than millennials. They are quickly approaching the age at which they will have money and will be joining the working and spending population en masse. But until that happens, companies are going to cater to millennials. So what my prediction is in 10 years, you're going to see a 75% contraction in the beer and liquor market. I think wine is going to see a 15% increase. You're going to see a 20% drop in packaged foods and a 25% drop in 10 years in fast food. And I think that'll result in stores closing, maybe some chains disappearing, but it'll really just be a market consolidation more than anything. So, yeah. So those are my predictions. Basically, social media contraction, Facebook's gonna disappear, automated driving in 15 years, fully autonomous in 30 years, food and beverage industry contracting, specifically liquor and fast food. So, I think that's all for today. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram. I'm tasting more Jack Daniels tonight, so join me on Instagram there. Yeah, peace, bye.